Alright guys, I'm back at the resort and I just want to talk to you guys more about the experiences I had at Zach Bagan's. Let me tell you, a lot happened. When I got out, I was just so in pain because first of all, that tour was supposed to be 2.5 hours. It was not 2.5 hours. It was like 3.5. We started at like 12:30 and didn't get out till 3:30. I don't even know. It was so long. You're on your feet a lot. The whole thing. And they don't have one bench for you to sit and relax on. You're not allowed to bring drinks inside. No water bottles, nothing. And they have a little water cooler midway in the first serial killer's room with Charles Manson stuff that we talked about earlier about my experience. So you get dehydrated. You get hot. Your feet are killing you. You're dizzy. You're tired. You go up and down stairs constantly. It's just like, it's an experience. Let me just tell you quickly from start to finish all my experiences if you're interested in knowing if you really want to go. I myself have been a giant Ghost Adventure fan for since 2009. And I have seen every single episode, every single spin-off series, every single movie. The only series I've not seen the whole thing of is his Possessed Items show, where he makes reenactments of each of his based on each of his haunted items, and they're legitly like little mini horror films. And the first one I watched was the Dollhouse one, and that one was so freaking scary that I had nightmares, and I watched one more, which was about the woman with the machine that she designed to reach out to the paranormal world, and she got killed by a demon and had Polaroids taken as she was dying. That was terrifying as well, so I stopped watching after that. But I've seen everything else. I've seen Demon House, I've seen Quarantine series, I've seen the Haunted Museum, I've seen Aftershocks, I've seen literally everything. So I'm a giant Ghost Adventure fan. So this was like a dream come true for me. Of course, when I got there, I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, this is my dream. We waited outside, and there was some video of that, and we finally got to go to the lobby where we were to check in to get our VIP lanyards. And I spoke to Shauna. She was one of the tour group leaders there. She was just doing a intro tour, just getting you into the lobby and handing you off to somebody else. And she told me about an experience she had in the Divock box room, about how she was just spilling about, and all of a sudden she just turned toward the Divock box and just stared at it, blacked out. And when she was like awoken by another person, she started freaking out, and she got sent home, and she slept for 14 hours. And she said that it was very, very, very hard for her because she almost quit her job. She said that was one of the worst experiences she ever had. So hearing that before getting on the tour was kind of scary, but there was a lot of cute stuff in that lobby area. They made us take an oath promising, just to know that we are aware of what we could get ourselves into. So anyway, we were led outside to the front of the museum where the two gargoyles are. The ones that I was filming earlier were not the original gargoyles. That's from the intro of Deadly Possessions. It's actually in the other side of the building. So I wish I could have filmed that, but they did say to turn off all your phones and everything, so I couldn't film that part. But just seeing those in person was like enough for me. I was just so happy. So we go into the first room, which is the oddities room. And lo and behold, the first thing you see to your left is the haunted dollhouse from that episode I told you about that terrified the piss out of me. And they were talking about that, which was super cool. And I went to go see that. I had to see it in person. And then there was like a Zach Bagan's fortune teller machine, and somebody had $1 who got to insert it, and Zach's voice came through his Zach-like fortune teller. He looks just like Zach, and he gave a cool fortune, and the guy got to keep the fortune, so I was lucky for him. RPI Access had the first option to go into the doll room, which was connected through a very, very narrow little hallway. and it's very, very small. So when he originally did Deadly Possessions, to introduce things that were get donated to his museum, the doll room was a lot bigger, and that's how I remembered it. So I think what he did was he cut the room in half and made half of it a seance room for a Houdini, and then the other half, like a cubbyhole almost, it's like a little small nook, he put all his haunted dolls in, which to me, I just wish it was a little bit bigger, because we literally walked through thinking there was more, and the only thing I could do, I couldn't look at them in the eye, I didn't look at anybody, I said, I respect you fully, thank you for letting me come through here. And that's what I was treating the whole museum like that. I was actually talking to the objects in a respectful manner, because I understand I didn't want anything attached to me in the wrong way. So I didn't look at any dolls in the face. I just didn't want to do that. So, and I know there was a couple dolls in there that I missed and I really wish I could have seen, but everybody was going so quickly through that area and I just didn't think twice about it. So we went through there, and then we went through the Houdini seance room. It was just a really cool setup of, a table and chairs and just the Houdini seance scene. And then we got back out, and then she said, okay, we're going to go into this room. And inside the next room was 2 caskets with 2 Goodfella, is it good? I think it's Longfellow or Goodfella. It might be Longfellow. Longfellow bodies, skeletons full on, and I knew what that room was before I went in. I was like, oh no, I can't go in there. I can't go in there. And she's like, okay, well you can stay out here. I'm like, oh well, is there anything else I'm gonna miss out if I go in there? And she goes, well, there's like a secret access to a VIP experience. And I was like, okay, I can't miss that. I'll face my fears. Go in there, and I didn't even look at the skeletons, no way. I turned away and faced my husband. I did get a couple glimpses, but I just couldn't. I would throw up. I would literally throw up in front of everybody, and I didn't want to do that, so I just looked away. And they gave the opportunity for everybody to go through this small crawl space, and I was like, no. So he went back at the door, which luckily there was a way around it. It led to a puppet room with all his puppets. And that was pretty cool. But when I went there, the people that went through that little hallway started showing up, and it scared the living crap out of me. So I backed out of there really quick. That was an experience in itself. And then we got to go to the Kevorkian van area. And I was so excited about this. And I don't see him as a villain. I see him as a good person, doing good things for people who was terminally ill and just wanted to end their life because they didn't want to suffer anymore. So I see him as a hero. We got to go into the Kevorkian van area, and it was really nice. They made it look really nice, the exhibit. The door was open. You could see inside. There was a dummy of a dead person in there. I actually touched the door. I know, I'm bad. Shame. I just went the way out because I was the last person. I didn't get to touch it. I didn't feel anything, and I said I don't mean any disrespect. I do see you as a hero, and I said that to him, Dr. Death. So then we went from there to the serial killer's room, and I told you in the last video that that's where I was starting to feel experiences. I was in that room. They have a lot of serial killers like Ramirez, and they have Ted Bundy, and they had Charles Manson, and they have all that kind of stuff, memorabilia. They also have that guy, I forgot his name, the clown that went around and killed people. Zach Bagans had the opportunity to actually hold his brain, which was a really crazy episode. They had pictures of him, but like I was saying earlier, I went to the back where the Charles Manson TV was, and there's letters from Charles Manson, and I was starting to read them because I saw it on the show that Zach was reading them. I was like, well, what does it say? So I started trying to read it, couldn't really understand the writing, but I started feeling a sharp pain right in my ear, and it went down to my jaw. And it was like a screwdriver feeling, like a really, really bad earache. And I was like, okay, that's not good. So I was just like, okay, that's my first experience of pain here. And then we went to the Ed Gein room, where he was kind of like the poster child of the Texas massacre. Like, That's the true stories that were inspired by him, where he used women's skin as costume because, you know, he wanted to be his mother and all this weird stuff. And he had a cauldron that he would mix at the entrails, let the blood drain in, and, you know, that thing was in there, and including the shovel that he would dump things in with. And I was just looking around, like, it was a really cool set. The set was built by the same, that was designed by the director of American Horror Story, Ryan Murphy, from what I heard. And it was a really good set. But I started getting more pain. I felt like a punching pain in my neck right here. It was so painful. It just felt like someone's like going, ugh, ugh, ugh. And then the earache was getting worse too. And I was like, great. So I told the attendee, I'm like, hey, I'm feeling a lot of pain. She's like, do you need to go? And I'm like, no, I'm going to keep pushing on. I have to see everything. This is a big experience for me. So the next stop was the basement. Yeah. If you watched any of his Haunted Museum documentaries, episodes, spin-offs, whatever, you know the basement was where it was foretold there was some devil worshipping, pentagram drove in the middle of the floor, and there was like a bunch of satanic people doing bad things down there. And they also got a lot of really nasty EVPs down there and experiences, so just knowing about that alone, going down there was not fun. So, I went down the stairs, and the first thing I'm greeted with is 2 skeletons. Anyway, he just did a lot of cinematic, scary stuff like you would see in scary houses. I'm a big Halloween Horror Nights fan. I've been going since 2012. I've done Halloween Horror Nights houses maybe 100 times overall, if I were to count every experience, even the multiples. And it's just like, that man knows how to throw a crazy, scary house on my house. Let me tell you, like, just going down the basement, knowing what was happening, and my heart was thudding. Time he got to the back, there's so many strobes and fog and devil, like statues, like with the horned goat, you know. The pagan devil. And there was a spirit box that was going on there, like, if you want to ask questions, go ahead and do it. And nobody was really doing it for a second until I said, who is down here? And it would stop. And then it would go, because it was continually going, that's the sound that it makes. And every time I'd ask a question, it would just go, stop. It wouldn't say anything. And then this guy asked, and this other guy asked, and it didn't work. And so at the end, everyone's like, okay, we're gonna leave now. We're all creeped out. It stopped completely again and went like that, like a growl, and that scared me so bad. And I was the last one in there. I pushed my husband. I was like, go, 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 go. And we literally ran as down the hallway. Well, my husband's partially blind, so we tried to hobble down there. I was so terrified. Ran up the stairs, and I started bawling. I was like, it was scary. It was an overwhelming emotion. Like, I was crying. Like, you could see here, like, the smeared eyeliner from me crying. And then we got to see the Bela Lugosi mirror. That was pretty cool. It was like his own separate exhibit. And I didn't feel anything when I saw it. So that's my experience with that. I think that was when we went through the clown exhibit. It was also a haunted maze, and clowns are jumping out. There was actually a live actor in there. Thankfully I missed out, but I was screaming. I was running through that. I slapped my hand against the wall. Like, Jesus Christ. They really went all out. That was that, and there was a couple other exhibits. There was a Titanic, the Splendor exhibit. Oh, and then we got to meet the doll there. Oh, God, her name is... I'm so sorry. Her name is slipping my mind right now. But Peggy, there you go. Peggy the doll was there. And you have to go in and say hello, and you have to say goodbye and respect. So Steve and I went inside with everybody. We went one by one, and I stood in front of her. I didn't even look her in the eye. I had my head bowed, you know. I was like, hello, Peggy. And I was like, thank you for letting us be here. And I said, okay, Peggy, goodbye. And as I said goodbye, the spirit box went, hello? I kid you not. I kid you not. And then there was like that noise. So that was fun. Get my second spirit box activity. And after that, we got to go see the Devil's Rocking Chair. And being a RIP All Access member, we got to go closer to it. And I stood in front of it, and as I was sitting in front of it, I'm like, okay, my left side is getting numb, my left ear is getting popped, I'm feeling dizzy, and everybody around me just like left. They're like, bye. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave too. And as I was leaving, it felt like something was clinging to my leg. Like, you know how a hair is stuck on your skin? That tingling feeling? It was on my left leg, right around my lower part of it. And I was trying to wipe it away because it felt like something was holding on to me and it was tickly. And I was talking to the attendant, like, there's something on me, there's something on me. She goes, well, a lot of people go in here and they feel things touching them and such. So I'm like, oh God. And that just validated it. And then I told her about the pain I had. And she's like, oh my God, I never really meet people who experience a lot of pain here. They saw people that faint and everything, but not pain. And I was like, yeah, I felt punching in my neck and my ear. And she was like, wow. And she wanted to make sure I was okay. And of course I said, yes, I want to keep moving forward. So we did that. And then we went and saw the demon house, the basement. He took the whole basement and relocated it to the exhibit. I think that was one of the last things we did. We did a couple of other exhibits, and on top of my head, I can't remember. I was in so much pain. Honestly, right now I'm in so much pain just because there's so much standing. And we did get to go to the movie exhibit. He had Poltergeist memorabilia, like the actual clown from the movie. He had what else he had? He had some Heather O'Rourke stuff in a frame, which was so sweet. He had the original Chucky doll. That was pretty cool. He had the last thing that the guy from The Crow, I forgot his name. Brandon Lee. Yeah, Brandon Lee. Sorry. Brandon Lee. He, if you guys don't know anything about The Crow and about the legend around that, he was actually shot and killed in the last scene that he was in on The Crow. It was an accident with a stage prop, but they had one of his costumes there, and that was pretty cool to see as well. I mean, overall, this tour was amazing, terrifying, painful. I wish they had some benches so when you watch these little show clips, you weren't just sitting there and suffering, or staying there and suffering. You could actually sit down. But I would recommend it. Yes, I would recommend you to also wear comfortable shoes. If you have one of those like portable stools, I would bring those. So if I do this again, I'll probably bring a portable stool with me that hopefully can hold over 300 pounds, just saying. But the time I got to that gift shop, I was so drained, mentally, emotionally exhausted, and I was in pain. I grabbed what I could in the gift shop. I just grabbed. I'm like, okay, let's get this and that, and let's go. And we took an Uber home, and here I am. So awesome. I didn't get to see Zach. I wish I did. I'm so bummed about that. I wish I could have recorded inside. That's another thing. I wish I could take pictures of the poltergeist stuff. Everything's in my memory, and everything's with stories. But that was my story about the Zach Bagan's Haunted Museum experience. And like I said, I would probably do it again if I had more comfortable shoes. But never, ever, ever will I ever go into that basement. Hell no. Hell no. But yeah, if you're definitely a big fan, I would recommend it. So anyway, that's my story, and I want to show you guys some of my merch. So my husband and I got free shirts for the All Access tour for Zach Bagan's, and here is one of them. Mine's 4X. See here, cool that is. Here, you can fold it up, baby. They didn't have any other shirts there that were bigger than a 2X, so I couldn't get any more shirts, which really sucks. There was a couple that I wanted. I got a magnet. We collect magnets at every location that we go to. That's just how my husband and I are. I got Necrofusion, the CD. I'm a huge fan of Necrofusion. I have only the audio tracks on digital. I don't have CD. Now I have one for the car. I got a keychain for my car keys. It's got Sex logo on it. So hell yeah to that. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's all I got. He didn't really have a lot there. He didn't have anything signed or anything like that. It would have been nice if he would have, you know, I would have bought it. I'm telling you, I would have bought it. But anyway, yeah, it was a great experience. We came all the way here literally just for that to begin with. And then, yeah, we have an amazing time planned for tonight. We are going to RuPaul Live, and we have a meet and greet with drag queens, and I'm going to make Eureka O'Hara. Ah! Anyway, we're going to rest up. Bye-bye.